This is a video about how art has become content. More specifically, I want to talk to you today about the art of filmmaking and how it has changed in recent years with the introduction of social media in this modern digital age. So, people have been making movies for like the last century, and in that time, they've developed a system of distributing projects through a handful of major studios that I'm sure you've heard of before. Now, they pretty much control what gets seen by the general public. Sure, there's smaller independent films out there, but nothing with that same large scale of an audience. This has been changing with the internet, of course, in part because it allows studios to market their films directly to their consumers. They can customize what gets more attention and build a fan base that way. But also because it allows the filmmakers themselves direct access to interact with their audience. For instance, the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie came out this weekend, and I followed James Gunn, the director, on Instagram, and he's posting behind-the-scenes pictures which I can comment on and share them around. That interaction didn't used to happen. But anyway, the larger point that I want to make in this video is more about how social media has actually made it possible to ditch the studio system altogether. With platforms like YouTube and TikTok, creators can build a name for themselves and get their stuff out there to whoever might be interested. Instead of spending their time pitching their ideas, they can just make them. This has allowed filmmakers to experiment with new techniques that studios just wouldn't take a risk on, vastly expanding the diversity of visual styles in popular media. I was reading an article about the new opportunities that social media brings to filmmaking, and it got me thinking on this question of what exactly is the difference between a movie and a YouTube video. On paper, it's simple, but as more and more creators get larger budgets and make higher quality videos with studio equipment and whole teams, it's blurring the boundaries between them. You can't say it's that movies are released in theaters anymore because $100 million films are being dropped exclusively on streaming services, which, might I add, other than the fact that you need to pay a subscription for it, they're basically the same thing as YouTube. I guess the only difference is Netflix and Disney are sort of gatekeeping what content they want to put on their platform, whereas YouTube is different because it allows anyone to upload. You may think vlogging, just talking to the camera, something like this, is clearly not on the same level. And in a lot of ways, you're right. But take Casey Neistat, for example. He's one of my personal inspirations. You might have noticed in the style of this video, actually. Now, he was a filmmaker first. He created an HBO series long before transitioning to YouTube, and he applied certain cinematic techniques to a genre which at its core was just filming everything in your day. But with his videos, he used engaging storytelling and aesthetic cinematography, which was the same things he was using to create his show. So if that's not considered a movie, then how can you possibly make something that is? Maybe it's just about the style, but if I got expensive equipment and followed industry standard techniques, would I have to make something like this?
In a world caught up in the gray area between film and social media, one man seeks to answer the question.
What's the difference?
This summer, writer and director Chris Bauer brings you the adventure of a lifetime.
Or something like that. I don't really know, guys. The point is, why is that considered art, but a regular video is reduced to content? Tensions have seemingly always existed between traditional studios and these new digital platforms, as they quite frankly seem to be looked down on. Media outlets are hesitant to refer to the two as the same, defining one group of people as celebrities, but another as internet famous, or my favorite, influencers. But if they both have the same influence on the general public, why are there two different terms? But I guess I'm interested in all of this really because I have a related personal experience. Growing up, I wanted to be a movie director and or a YouTuber, and I actually did have some success with that. I created a very niche channel where I would recreate props and costumes from popular movies and TV shows. It's a little embarrassing, as all things you make when you're a kid are, but it really illustrates these new opportunities. Before this, there is no way that a 12-year-old could be creating 100% independent content and become a monetized creator pulling in millions of views. I'm not trying to flex that, it's just crazy that that's possible. And I learned a lot of lessons doing that. And now here I am in film school, right over there actually, and I'm learning a whole different side of how to make movies. But they've both been really valuable experiences in their own ways. Of course, a big question that comes up is what to do after school. Is it move to LA and try to make it in Hollywood and work up the ladder? And maybe, I mean, that sounds super exciting, but it's not the only route to becoming famous or, more importantly, creating art and sharing it with people around the world in today's day and age. Social media has not ruined the craft of cinema, it has expanded what is possible. So, if you want to make something, if there's a story that you want to tell, you don't need anyone's permission or anyone's money. Just go have fun. And I can guarantee there's someone out there who will be interested in it.